Hello, everybody, and welcome to Make a Thing. Hope you've had a good, productive week. Fridays are my favorite to record on because David Lynch in the morning when he does his weather report says the date and then says, "If you can believe it," and he shakes the computer. "It's a Friday once again." And I'm always like, I feel you, Dave. I get it. I hope that I have as much energy and enthusiasm for art as he does in his, I suppose, 70s now. I hope I have that much enthusiasm in a month. So thank you, David Lynch, for getting me hopped up every day and getting by whatever low blood sugar mood I may be in. He's a really inspirational dude. And if you get a chance, you should look up his videos. You can get videos of him talking about Zen practice and transcendental meditation. And I'm not a transcendental meditator, but I really admire being in that headspace as an artist. And I certainly agree with the basic gist of it. I think that art should be approached from as peaceful a place as you can approach it from. And it should always be fun. Even if it's sinister, even if it's dark, or even if it's dealing with painful things. You should always try to put yourself in a frame of mind where it feels good to process that. And that you feel better for having done it. And I think that Lynch himself has said many times that, even though he makes some creepy movies and strange things, that in his everyday life he's a very happy guy. So that's the vibe I want to follow myself. This week we had a lot of applicants for Ronnie. The role of Ronnie for the Wisteria show. And we got these through backstage.com for like $30 post. And these were all inexperienced folks, but everyone had something, man. Everyone had a good look or had a good attitude. And it was very inspiring. I was really psyched. Some, like a couple people were really into it. And one guy made a video specifically for us, which I thought was very kind. And everyone, even though this is mostly people that are just taking their first stabs at getting into the business, like they're coming at it with joy and enthusiasm. And it was really great to see. So I felt great after we went through all that. We boiled it down to about 4 or 5 guys that we think are pretty terrific. And we're going to try to get in touch with them directly and maybe do a little one-on-one Zoom meeting talk with them. For my own part, when I'm talking to actors, I prefer, it's always great to do line readings and auditions and, in the more classic sense. I mean, it's never bad. But that's not, usually if you like the video or whatever, their reel that they've sent in, there's something about it that you think is groovy and you want to explore that something. You don't necessarily want, for me anyway, just to hear how they're going to say a particular line. You want to see if you can work with them. You want to see if they have interesting ideas. You want to see if they're cool, if they're, inventive and giving and that they look like they're going to be a good work partner. And because I feel like acting is an extremely difficult job. I've done voice acting, I've done acting, and it's tough to be in the zone because you really have to be in sort of a flow state to act well. And there's all sorts of ways to get there. There's all sorts of methods. There's the method, the angle of sort of burying yourself in the role and not leaving character, not breaking no matter what. Daniel Day-Lewis style, or Jared Leto style, more infamously. And that's all, for me, that's all good. Like, whatever you do, however you treat it, whatever gets you there is the right thing to do. So I don't hammer on people for whatever their process is. I only ever want to know, like, if someone's going to let their process get in the way of the other processes that are on set, because sets are complex and complicated, and there's a lot of time pressure, and you want to make sure that no one is making work harder for other people, just so they can be perceived as more serious at what they do. And that's not just actors. A lot of people do this. Directors do this. And it gets in the way. That's just your ego talking. I've done it. I've made this mistake. And both as an actor and as a director. And when you're feeling self-conscious, that's when you're gonna mess it up. That's when you're gonna bring your worst work. So that's why I connect with David Lynch. To bring it back around, it's like you don't want to be in a stressed out zone when you're being creative. You want to be in an open to everything zone. And in terms of working with other people, that means kindness and politeness and giving people the space they need and being clear about your needs and how much time you require or whatever it is, just so people can get scheduling done and do their jobs and all that stuff. And if everyone's cool, then they will then they give you the respect and room that you need to do your work. Because like I said, like, acting is difficult. Acting is not complicated. It is hard. And the metaphor I always use, I'm sure people have heard me say this on Martini Giant, on the podcast that I do, is that moving a piano is not complex. Like, it's straightforward. Like, lift the piano. You need to be strong, and you need to know where to lift it from. Those are the two big things. So it's not complicated, but it is extremely hard. And when I see actors or directors or anybody telling themselves a story about the complexity of their work, and no one will understand because I have to, get in touch in this very special way that is, beyond mere mortals, or they're arrogant about it, or they're pushy about it, or they talk down to people, which you get a lot from directors, being patronizing. Like, that weakens your ability to connect. And as an actor, it weakens your ability to connect with yourself when you need to. And as a director, it weakens your ability to direct because you can't communicate when you're not connected. So I think this applies to pretty much everything else in my life. But it was a real joy to see so many young, enthusiastic, and positive feeling folks showing up in our backstage inbox. And, if you happen to be one of those guys right now, then, even if we don't pick you for Ronnie, like, the nature of the project is pretty wide open, and we want to be in contact with you to be in it, because we have plenty of roles and plenty of creative angles, from acting to all sorts of things. So we're definitely down for that kind of dialogue. But I'll try to be in touch with everybody about it and keep that ball rolling. I think we're going to be, it's going to be about 2 weeks before we have any real news on that. So for right now, it's getting back to the more sort of nitty gritty of production. I'm going to start going through Gareth's scripts and doing call out sheets for all the items we need. I have to start like designing with my eldest son what the set dressing is going to look like, all the props we're going to need. And I have to start just looking for all the weird little details. We are aiming to shoot, and I've said it before, but like we're aiming to shoot the whole kit and caboodle for maybe the first 3 episodes, definitely the first 2, in round about the middle of September. So there's some time, but there's gonna be green screen. There's a whole bunch of complicated stuff. If you guys remember from the scripts that we've read on this show, and yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about that. It's been a while since I've really dove into it, and long-time listeners will know that I've been dragging my feet because I am nervous. But that's the whole point of this show right here, is to just dig myself out of the self-consciousness hole. This is the theme of this episode. Self-consciousness is I was going to say it's the great enemy, but really it's the nervous little kid in your head. And you have to, I have to make peace with that kid, and I think that's what we all got to do in order to get to where we want to go. Can't fight him all the time. I've fought him a million times. You do 12 rounds late at night, and it's just like, let you know how much, you stink and you're never going to make it, and blah, 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 blah. And the way to battle that, I've learned the very long way around, is to try to have empathy for that little kid. And my very best friend in the world taught me this. And it's hard to practice. It's hard to continue to practice. But you have to say, like, it's going to be okay, dude. It's going to be cool. Like, everybody has got this. Everyone's got the scared little kid. That's why people act like pushy, self-conscious, patronizing, egotistical dingbats sometimes on sets. That is their little kid talking. And when you can get away from that, or you can elicit that little kid inside of someone else, not only does that help them out, but that also speaks to your inner little kid. Like, they have a little dialogue, sort of, sub rosa. There's an understanding. And because the one thing I definitely know, in fact, like I would say the one thing I don't know what I'm good at in directing, except for one thing. And that is, my love for the stuff we do is contagious. And I mean to infect everybody with that excitement all the time. And it takes a little bit of run up when I get there on set the first time, or in whatever situation it is. Like, I can feel like, oh man, I gotta charge into this and get over the nervousness. And if I do that, if I just sort of run in and just start going, okay, let's go, then that little kid is running with me, and everything is rocking and rolling. So anyway, that's the theme. Self-consciousness. It has long been my great struggle in every aspect. I think everyone shares it. Like, I've met people that are insanely skilled, like the best of the best at what they do, and they still have imposter syndrome when they start a new gig. I have this every time I start a new gig. Every time I start a new gig at the same place that I've been working, like, there's like a good 2 or 3 days where I'm just like, this is it. I'm going to get found out. Now, this is the time I'm going to get found out. I haven't been found out yet. So, in any case, other than that, it's been a very good week. I'm very excited to be holding my hands right now. Talk about artists going off and pursuing other forms of art when they're already doing one. Werner Herzog has written a novel. I have the hardcover right here. It's called The Twilight World. It's short, but what I've read is very beautiful. And I also picked up, for one credit, the audiobook. And I was very pleased to find that Herzog himself does the audiobook. So I will be reading this twice. I'll be reading it with my eyeballs, and I'll be reading it with my earphones. And if you haven't heard Werner Herzog's voice, then first of all, you gotta watch some documentaries because it's amazing. But he will never leave your brain. I want that to be my Google Maps voice. Turn here. If you continue down this road, you will find nothing but bleakness. That's my dream. Anyway, that's the episode for this week. I hope folks don't mind that I've switched to a slightly podcastier version for the time being until we have more physical work to show. Just because I also run a podcast, or I don't run it, I co-host a podcast on the weekends called Martini Giant, which people can also check out, or go to martinigiant.com, which is all film reviews. If you like me rambling for 16 minutes about nothing in particular, well, some of these shows go on for about 3 hours. So we get pretty excited. The two dudes I work with are terrific. Chris Nichols and Eric Shealy, and we go deep on all sorts of stuff, from very, very popular stuff to totally obscure stuff. Anyway, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. We do watch parties of bad movies. We're going to be doing that. And so this has become a little bit more of a comfortable medium for me to chit-chat away. But in the comments, I really do like interacting with folks. If you're listening, please feel free to ask any questions you got. I know I said it in the videos and text, but like, for real, like, it really is great to have back and forths with you guys. It's very inspiring, and especially if there's any filmmakers out there that want to share their stories, then we'd be totally psyched to hear them. Because I think that part of Make a Thing is the making of things, and part of Make a Thing is the sharing of things. And I guess my dream for what we're doing here at a root level is to connect creatively in a network style with as many cool people as we can. Wisteria is built to do that, and I would like this show to be built to do that. So please feel free to be as verbose as I am being here in the comments below. In any case, thanks for listening. I'm not sure what this next week will bring, but I'm excited for it. I feel like we've finally, at long last, hit kind of a milestone, and if we can be rolling some footage with some new creative people, then I'm gonna be quite pumped, and we'll have something sooner rather than later. But I appreciate everybody listening this long as we've been going through that journey, and we're just going to keep on going. Stay unselfconscious, stay creative, stay inspired, inspire other people, and try and find yourself a good mood and a good space to attack the things you want to attack and the projects you want to make. And let's get making some things this week. And then we can all join in with Mr. Lynch with if you can believe it, it's a Friday once again. All right, make a thing. I'll talk to you next week.